my god. Gotta get the hand paw on. There we go. Hello. I'm sorry for the weird angle we got going on here. I wanted to change things up from you guys like being on my dresser over there to over here. I just felt like changing things up. That's my tail. I'm not wearing it right now because I'm sitting. But I haven't talked in a while. I've been adulting lately. I've been doing all this stuff, and I've been coming kind of to the realization that I am lacking a little bit in, having an outlet as to regarding like more things, more casual, fun things that I want to do, because that's just how adulthood is. I'm in college, I'm a senior, I'm about to graduate in May with my bachelor's degree. I have an internship that I, just started. I'm a full-time student right now, which for me is kind of a shift because I'm usually part-time. That's just the best way I can function. But yeah, through my work, my, retail job, I'm doing an internship and I have projects and stuff, and it's not, I've been busier, obviously. Well, maybe not obviously to you guys, but for me, I have been busier. I've been more stressed out, but it's still just kind of at that point in my life where I kind of had to take a step back and, usually I don't talk about, these sorts of things, my therapy sessions, because that's personal to me, and, I don't want to disclose any of that. Unless you were a very close friend and I know I can trust you. But this is such a general topic that I think that's fine for me to talk about, especially as, someone who is in psychology and I'm going into that as a career. This is more of a casual, just good advice all around topic. I find myself being kind of frustrated a good couple days out of the week, maybe every day, depending on what class I have. Sometimes other folks will frustrate me in the class. Sometimes it's ADHD related because, my meds can't fix everything. I have to change, my habits and such to try and help with, my attention and executive functioning and that sort of thing. So, I'm better ADHD wise. I've gotten this far. I'm doing the heavy lifting to get myself ready to graduate. But I realize, like a lot of ADHD people do, maybe you have it. Maybe you might even not have ADHD and you might be having the same issue. But I feel like I have I think a lot of my I was talking today, and I think a lot of my energy is just kind of not going anywhere, and it's just converting into anger, I think, or maybe not even anger, just frustration with people around me. And I know emotional regulation is a challenge when you have ADHD, but I also am frustrated about other things because as much as I am socially anxious and, pretty, introverted and stuff, especially around people I don't know, I do want to, be more, maybe not even necessarily extroverted, but I do want to have times where I can express myself and be more, let the energy flourish a little bit more. And it's frustrating that I am in these mostly settings where I can't really do that, at least currently. I'm not saying I've never done it before. I've done it plenty of times. But I went, I can't remember if I posted it on here, but I posted it on my Blue Sky account, which I don't go on very often, but I went to my very first fur meet. It was at Fizzy Fox, back like January 17th. And I wanted to do a video or something or make a post about it, but like I just forgot. I genuinely forgot about it. Crazy as that sounds. But I'm hoping to go back for like Fizzy Fox Fest or something. But I was just like, I felt really shy. I didn't really know how to interact with other furries. I've interacted with other furries before. Yeah, absolutely. But just in the context of my first fur meet, I'm sure it's normal to be shy and during your first fur meet. But I also just, I want to like, you know, slip more easily into character when I'm going to a fur meet, or like going to, like if I go to a con in the future, or just when I'm around other furries and I'm in suit. I don't want to be like the same, like, you know, reserved person, or just like socially awkward, anxious person. Like, or maybe I'll be socially awkward, but at least I can have like, you know, kind of some energy to it. Because, I mean, I want to like, you know, make more connections in this fandom. Like I have furry friends, and they're wonderful, absolutely wonderful people. But it's just like, you know, I could get more out of the fandom, but I also have to put in more effort. I guess that's what I'm trying to say, is I need to be putting in some more so I can receive some more. I think that's really what the point I'm trying to kind of make here is. So I just, you know, I had a good time, but I still just feel like I could have, you know, gotten some more out of it. But I'm also trying not to be too hard on myself, because I was just, you know, dipping my little paw in there, you know, seeing what it's like, and there'll be future opportunities. But, you know, just as I talked about it today, I was like, you know, I don't really get to verbally talk about, you know, my hyperfixations or my interests too much. I mean, I have friends that I can talk to them about it, but I'm not going to make every conversation about my hyperfixations. Like, I will mention it, you know, I will share it, I will, you know, do this and that. But there's like, it's like I don't want to make the whole conversation about that. Like I'm an adult, like but like I also can, like, you know, curate a space, at least here on YouTube, where I can talk about it, you know, or I can talk about what I want. I've talked about, you know, I've talked about annoying people at my job. I've talked about, you know, my annoying professor that I've had. I've talked about, you know, going to pride events and that sort of thing. And, you know, I think I need to just stop worrying about just, you know, continuing to put this, not this on, but I mean like the mask of like not being able to let loose in my own space, per se, I guess. Just take a shot every time you hear me say per se, if you are 21 plus. But, you know, just, like, I don't know. But it did today in therapy, that did kind of like plant a little thought into my head that I guess I kind of didn't realize that I am, you know, suppressing a lot more, you know, of my, I guess, fun side, or like doing more enjoyment. Just, that's just kind of the sacrifice that you make when you, oh, okay. There's a notification on my phone. The sacrifice you make into adulthood, you have to, you know, make more time for important things, and you have to learn to, you know, present yourself in certain ways that maybe you don't always want to do, but it's just how life is. And I have stronger opinions on that, but yeah. So, this being said, I think I'm just going to just completely share like a lot of stuff about fish, because I love fish. They are lovely. I think they're basically my true Sona because I've had Sonas in the past and I've been pretty close to them. Most of them I've been pretty close to, but fish is just like, I'm like, I don't even know really how to describe it. Like, they are such just a beautiful creation, even if they were a pre-made, fursuit and stuff. And I've kind of built around them, but they just represent me. And they represent me so well, and they represent who I really would want to be if I could become an anthropomorphic animal or like a mythical dragon hybrid. That's that's a abridged version of it. Like, I love fish, and that's not something that I get to talk a lot about outside of, again, a few friends. And if I can just, talk about him, then again, it's my channel. It's my channel. I'm treating this like it's old school YouTube. You are on my bed. You are being propped up by a squishmallow and my blankets. So, what the hell? I mean, how much more cringe can it be if you are watching a furry in fursuit talk to their phone? So, like, what are you gonna do? You're here already. If you don't like it, just click off. It's fine. So, fish is special to me in other ways other than being like my true persona, just my Sona that I've really connected with. And fish is also special because I use them in very personal ways for me. So we're just gonna get into it. So for first, let's define our first term here. Fish is what's known for me also as not just a persona, but a self-insert. If you don't know what a self-insert is, first of all, welcome. Second of all, it's okay. So a self-insert is basically where you make a character or a Sona or just some representation of you, and you put it into your media of choice, like your fandom. So maybe you self-insert into SpongeBob, and you have like a little marine animal that you created, and then you put yourself in the SpongeBob. And so that could be one. Or, you self-insert into oh god, what's another one? I'm trying to think of maybe you do like Into the Spider-Verse. You make like a Spider person self-insert, and then you go into the Spider-Verse. So that's what a self-insert is. So fish is a self-insert, and if you look at my channel, you can probably see two big games that I like to play a lot, and it's Baldur's Gate 3 and The Witcher 3. And so fish is a self-insert. Excuse me. I had a big late lunch. Gross. Yucky. Fish is a self-insert into The Witcher 3, which I know that's very not fitting, but at this point I have not been able to make a self-insert or a Sona or anything in The Witcher 3 that would be more canon compliant. Like, I tried to have a Witcher self-insert, like an actual Witcher or like an elf, and I just didn't get that connection. Like, it didn't make sense to me. If that makes, it makes sense lore-wise, but to me, it did not feel like me. I could not, grasp the character as well. It didn't feel like I was being myself. It felt like it was somebody else. And sometimes when I make OCs, that's completely fine. But I wanted a self-insert. So I just threw fish in there because dragons are canon in the Witcher universe, but they are very different. So I figured that I could just kind of bend canon to however I want, because you don't have to completely follow canon. Let's just get that out of the way. Like, you can have fun with this media if you're making fan content of it. You don't have to just strictly follow the canon, lore. And I think especially with something as large as The Witcher, just how popular it is and just how much there's books and comics and the games, and we don't talk about the shows unless we're talking about, like, I guess the original Hexer, but I haven't seen that. But from what I've seen, it looks pretty good. But not like the Netflix adaptations. Blech, gross. Go away. But like, just that sort of thing, it's just so big and there's a lot of magic usage. I think that can be not terribly far-fetched. I mean, still kind of far-fetched, but not anything wild. So yeah, Fish is a Witcher self-insert, specifically to the games, because obviously I like the third game a lot, and I don't know if I'm gonna insert them into the fourth game at all, but that's just going to depend on just, I guess, the timeline and things like that. So what exactly do I do with a Witcher self-insert, especially one as silly as a dragon and cow hybrid? What could I possibly be doing? Well, that brings me to another definition. So, I've watched some other video essays on this because it's what I am. Oh my god. Terrible wording. But, people have been talking about self-shipping and Yumi shipping a lot. It's been getting more positive interaction with it. So I figured, why not? I'll just talk about it. So if you're not familiar, self-shipping and Yumi shipping, I've seen them be used interchangeably. I'm not entirely sure. Basically means where, like, you ship yourself with a fictional character. And yeah, I do that. I've been doing that for quite a long time, actually. I just didn't really, I don't know, like, really have a term or a community centered around it. Plus, it was really cringe. It was seen as way more cringe when I was younger. So I wasn't like open about it. You just kind of like, oh yeah, sure, whatever. Or you just like a fictional character and you don't really go very far with it. You don't do much. So you just keep your mouth shut and keep it to yourself rather than, sharing it really, even in online spaces. Because, like with the whole just cringe culture, especially around anyone who ships an OC or themselves with a character, you're pretty much going to get scrutinized for it. And so I do self-ship within the Witcher fandom, and it's a huge, well, not huge, but it is a form of a coping mechanism for me, because I have had negative experiences with relationships in my life, and it has made me very kind of exhausted with people, real life people, in terms of like romantic, settings. I am also on the Arrow and A spectrum, but also just generally like kind of working out these things about, relationships and past relationship trauma, and being able to safely explore a fictional relationship without any of the real life stressors, sort of. And so, Fish is my self-insert, and I ship them with the game version of Lambert from The Witcher 3, and, it has helped me a lot, and, I've honestly, I'm gonna sound insane, but it has kind of improved my mental state quite a bit, because I don't feel like I'm just like this, I don't really know how to describe it. It's kind of weird, because like I heard, like, as a character, like, he's helped me realize a lot of things. He's helped me bring up things in therapy, which is gonna sound wild, but you have to remember that fictional characters are based on real people and based on real experiences that humans have. So just with that in the game, I've been able to kind of apply that and address these things and end up healing from these things and just, continuing down this good path. And that's like how it's improved. And then that's where like the whole like self-shipping thing comes in, where it's kind of like, oh, well, I see a lot of these parallels and this is what the appeal is. And so I know it's not real. People are gonna scream at me in the comments and be like, it's not real. Yes, I know it's not real. I'm not over here saying that like I think any of this is real. It's fine. I'm not doing any of that, but it is genuinely a helpful kind of outlet. And it's also creative. In the age of AI where AI writing and AI art and all of this is taking over, I think this is a good way for me to continue to be creative. Other than just drawing my persona, but I can like draw my persona like draw fish in these different situations and like with this character and with these other characters. And I'd rather see a million zillion people with their self inserts and their self ships than see AI art with a piss filter. Alright, I need to shut up already. This video is way too long. Thanks for sticking around. Appreciate it. I've got a headache. Alright.